Well, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Norm's Community Corner. I'm sure you've all heard the sad news. If you haven't, you hear it now. Norm departed, left us Saturday, so it's only right. You know, let's remember all the nice thoughts. He was a fantastic spirit. So let's start just with a moment of silence out of respect and peace for Norm. All right, so as Norm would want it, we know he'd still want us to continue. You know, everybody, it was so sudden, but, you know, it wasn't like left with a 1-2 punch. It was with, you know, I go to Canada, they call it la bise, a kiss on each cheek. So we still have the scheduled guests today. We have Eric Balchunis from New England Spirit Society. We have Keri and Paula, and why don't everybody identify themselves, tell us who you are, where
I'm
you're
Eric.
from.
I'm the token guy for the New England Spirit Society. I'm the only man on the whole group.
Oh, wow.
My wife, Keri. And
Paula.
Paula.
Paula Clark, yeah.
Yeah.
One of many talents.
One of many talents. A lot of talent. Yeah.
And so tell us, you know, like, what is it that you do? All I know is, you know, I watch the Travel Channel.
All right. So whatever you've learned on the Travel Channel, put it in the back, because it's not how it always happens. We don't always get everything done in an hour. You know, as much as we'd like, there's no way we can get everything done in an hour. No, we do many aspects. We are paranormal investigators. We are not ghost hunters. We look at all realms of the paranormal. Somebody could call us and say they have something, they hear knocks in their wall. We'll even go into the house, and we have cameras that we can look into the wall and see if they have mice, or if there's, or if somebody really is, you know, somebody else is knocking on it. Well, we will go to almost any stride we can to probably more rule out the paranormal than.
So now, what is it, shall we say, what is it that will prompt someone to call, you know, to call? They just get spooked in their house? Or?
Things are going on. Things are picking up.
Funny noises.
Yeah, funny noises.
Seeing, like, things move, you know, when you're sitting and eating dinner or something, and all of a sudden this shadow goes by, and there's lots of...
I see those all the time.
Right, but...
Then you need us.
New people moving into a home doing renovations, when the people that lived on the property, whether it be 10 years ago, 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago, there's change going on that property. Whether it's not just the house, it's the property, it's the land, it's everything. So we look into woodland creatures, we look into, I mean, we cover all aspects. We just do it all.
Wow. You know, I had this is years ago, so tell me what you were doing this instant. Well, I'm sure it was possessed. I had this house down in Everett. You name it, something was always going wrong with it. I mean, you know, negative. 2 water heaters. This is all in the first year I lived there. 2 water heaters. The furnace caught on fire.
Jeez.
An electrical outlet caught on fire. Somebody smashed some windows on the house. I was backing up the driveway one time. You know, the car has the, you know, the beep beep stuff. I'm backing up. It didn't go off, so I'm just backing up, crash right into a lamppost. But anyway, and it was the weirdest thing. I went at the top of the stairs in the house. Everybody laughed. There was an adult footprint and a baby footprint. You know, it was carpeting, and I'd shampoo it and everything, vacuum it. It would go away. They would always come back.
Like a naked footprint or like with shoes?
Naked.
Okay.
You know, you could see
Yep.
the toe, you know, the imprint of the toes and everything. And it's funny, come to find out, so I wasn't there that long. And it was, even I remember my aunt, she even said, she says, "You're right." She says, "There's something in there." Anyway, when I put the house up for sale, finally a neighbor told me 3 people died in that house. So,
That was the first thing I asked when we moved into our house.
yeah, I would definitely recommend that be one of the first questions.
Okay, so you would call us and say, "Hey, I got some weird stuff going on." And we have 2 people that do a lot of the intake.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have 2 mediums. They happen to be sisters, Paula and Pam. We will give them an address to look at, and we'll ask your permission for them to do a remote read, because even though it's a remote read, it's still an interruption in your.
Sure.
So we get a permission for them to do a remote read. We also get permission. We have a girl that does background investigation, not background investigation, but historical landmarks and stuff like that. She does the history of the property and all that. So we go through. Paula and Pam are just given an address with no other information. And then Ashley's given the same, and they just go to town. Paula and Pam will do their remote reads. They write their information down separately, and then we come together and they do their reads, and they read their reads to us. And
Nice. Now, when they do their reads, do they go at separate times or they go together?
Usually, I like to do mine separate. I mean,
Right.
usually we like space, because for me, I'm a lot physically sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
So if there are other people in the space, I don't want to be reading that or feeling that.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go into the house, and usually I go into the house. I usually do the land first, because that's, to me, that's a lot of where this is generated. And then that will seep into the house, so then I do the house. That's how I work.
So, and do you actually see if there's spirits there or you feel them?
Both.
Uh-huh.
Both.
Nice. And what's your role in the
I just helped with the investigation using the electronics and then going over what we've recorded on the cameras and stuff.
that
Wow.
she does a lot of the administrative stuff. Like we'll bring in the readings. She'll type them out. Our findings, she'll type them out. So when we present that to the homeowner, when we do the reveal, everything that we found is typed out. Everything that we did is typed out.
So I can read it.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just the backgrounds that we all came from are pretty much different but same. They're structured. So like I was in the military and a firefighter, so I write my reports in a firefighter way. You know, this happened, and this is the actions that I took. She'll turn it into English.
So this is the question for everyone. You can answer one at a time, or you can have a free-for-all. But, you know, like, I'm a psychic intuitive and a medium. Now, how did you get sort of involved in the paranormal? Was it sort of like just you were interested in it, or was it a calling, or what was it? Like for mediumship, for me, it just, I never really practiced. I just, you know,
Right.
I thought I was losing it, you know.
No, when we were little growing up, my father actually was a lot of the same. You know, he was redhead. My grandparents came from Scotland, so we've always done spooky. That's what I said.
We've always done spooky.
And to us, the land, we know the land is alive. You know, we know that there are things on it from our knowledge of Scotland. And it's normal to me. I don't know how anybody can be any other way. It's funny to me because it's you using all your senses is basically what it is. But a lot of people are shutting off their senses because they're afraid. You know, they think something, I don't know what they think is going to happen, but I mean, there are ways if you don't like the psychic ability that you can tone it down, and you can't shut it off, but you can tone it down if you really don't want to deal with it. Well,
that's true, because like for medium, you know, for the mediumship, it's like, you know, people get scared when they'll talk like about, oh, a Ouija board, it invites in dark entities. Well, it's true, but that's because the people that, you know, use a Ouija board,
Yes.
that's all they want to do. They want to call in spirit, but they
Yep.
don't realize you can choose to say, you know, wait a minute, dark entities, no thank you.
Yep, and it's
So-
all in your intention.
It is.
And what you want to call
Well,
it.
you know, I'm the big believer, energy follows thoughts, so
Yes, it does. Yep,
that's all you have to
exactly.
do is send it out.
Yep. That's it.
Yeah. Well, what about you? You're
I
very
just-
quiet here.
I just, he got into it and gradually got me into it because we had lived in an apartment and things were happening in there
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm.
and things were being moved from one shelf to another. They were just little figurines. And I thought he was doing it, but he wasn't. And I had seen something in our daughter's room walk across the doorway inside her room. And I'm like,
A spare? You mean a
oh, yeah.
spare?
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah, it was a full shadow.
Wow.
Yeah,
and I talked to him and he goes, yes, it's the nanny. He keeps watch on her. So he
Oh,
goes,
you call it the nanny?
Well,
Yeah.
my daughter
Oh,
daughter
oh.
actually named it the nanny,
Oh.
and she was talking to me about it because she was seeing two people. She was seeing a I don't know. Were you done?
yeah.
Okay.
Because, I mean,
She was she was seeing an eerie old man in the corner of the room cowering, and he was real bitter, and he was just an angry old Gus.
Mm-hmm.
And she would come in, the nanny, and she would kind of put him in place and make sure that Brittany was all right.
Wow.
And I guess one of the greatest, I mean, and you know, Brittany would go over over my mother's or over her mother's and spend the night. I mean, she loved spending the night with her grandparents, and we'd be in the living room or kitchen, and you'd constantly see, you know, wandering, you know, going around, and it'd be like, she's okay, she's at her grandparents, and we wouldn't see the shadow anymore for the night, just as long as she knew. But one night in this nice small little apartment that we're living in, I'm sitting at a computer desk working on my computer, and you can see into our bedroom, and there's the bathroom here, and Brittany's bedroom's here. It's just like a small little cubicle hallway. But Keri had gotten up for some reason. I don't know if she
I was
going,
headed to bed.
yeah, and then all of a sudden she was like, "Eric, come here!" I mean, she's like quietly screaming at me, and I'm like, She's like, "Fix her, fix her." So I get up, and we
I
look,
did too. I was freaking out.
we look into our daughter's bedroom, or I look into my daughter's bedroom, and my daughter is literally on a bunk bed, on the side of the bed. She should, in all gravel science reasons, she should be falling.
Wow.
She should not be where she is on the bed. So I walk in, I put my arms out, and she literally folds into my arms, and I put her on the bottom bunk.
She was only on there by like
she
an arm.
she had one arm on the bed. That's it.
Wow.
And she should have fallen and hit the floor, but she just folded right into my arms. I just laid it down like it was meant to be, stuck the landing, and you know, we thanked the nanny, and it was just really weird.
So that's sort of what sort of got your attention for all this, or was it
No,
before that?
no.
That's what brought me into
it's
it.
got what got her into it. But before, I was, I want to say 6 when my grandmother, my mother's mother passed away, and we were really close because she was the only grandmother that I knew.
Yeah.
So she had passed away from stomach cancer, and I was never able to go in and see her, so I never got to say goodbye, but I was told that she had passed away. And where I lived in Maine, I could run across the road, not get hit by it. It was like out in the woods and into a big field. I'm crying out in the middle of this field, and over my left shoulder I hear, "Eric, why are you crying?" Just like when you and I are talking. That's
Yeah.
not like the neighbor yelling down the,
Yeah.
down. And I turn around and look over my shoulder, and there's nothing there. Well, I beat feet home because there was nothing there. But I mean, I had seen things. I had seen like a rabbit figure leaning up against a tree when I was a kid. My father was carrying me into the house, and I was half asleep. I looked out in the neighbor's yard, and there's this rabbit figure leaning up against a tree. And I thought that was weird. When I was around 9 years old, my parents had gone away for, this is when you could actually leave your kids home alone, back in the day. When I was 9 years old, you know, where we live, I lived in Kittery, so we had the Portsmouth Naval Shipyard, and we had Pease Air Force Base, and they were both active. I was 9 years old, stepped out onto the, would be the west end of the house, onto the porch. Don't know why I went out there. I looked up, and I see a star that goes, or what looked like a star, start going. And yeah, it's just a guy trying to get into the elevator with a ladder. So a star moved, and I'm thinking, oh, that's kind of cool. It's flying something. And all of a sudden it comes back. And it goes. It's back and forth, and boom, flies off. And I'm like, whoa, going in the house now. But yeah, I've had a lot of weird stuff. I mean, I could keep going on and on and on. But stuff that happened to me in the military that I don't classify myself as a psychic. I classify myself as like a knower. Things that would go on.
Well, it's sort of, it's psychic,
Right.
intuitive.
Yeah,
Right.
It is, and I've heard that used as a term.
Right.
Because you just know things.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
why.
Yeah. And then, you know, there'd be times where I'd get a voice it was like a very commanding voice. Don't go in there. And I wouldn't go in there, and something would happen. And then all of a sudden, it was like, okay, go. You know,
Yeah.
and that happened all through the military, all through my fire. I mean, a lot of times firefighting, we'd go into a space, don't go in there. All of a sudden, the room would just ignite.
Wow.
And it'd be like, whoa, that wouldn't have been good,
Yeah, no.
you know. But just a lot of things like that.
Wow. Well, that's, you know, it is, I know, but it is psychic. You know, and it's the thing, you know, everybody's psychic, I believe, but the thing is,
Yes.
it's, you know, they're not open to it, or, you know,
Correct.
they
Shutting
put
it
up a
off.
barricade.
They're afraid of it.
And, yeah, I don't know why, because it's amazing.
I think
it's
I think
really
It's
amazing.
afraid of it going to the point where you can't shut it off if you want to. That's
Right.
what it is.
I never,
I
you know,
have been to that point because I don't remember what it was, but I had like a hissy fit. I can't remember what happened, but I said, I don't want this. I don't want to see anything anymore. No, I'm done. And for a little while, I was allowed that space. But then I gradually came back to it because I realized that was not me. You know, I mean, that was a lesson for me, I guess, but I couldn't shut it off.
You have it for, yeah.
But
That's why
I guess
there's
I
the
started
barrier.
learning stuff and maybe realizing that it wasn't what some people think it is. You know, this is our survival sense. And I guess when I started taking and teaching karate, that I realized that this is not something spooky. It's not something only given to, you know, a special few. We all have it. It's called our survival sense.
Right.
But some
Yep.
people develop it in a more different way, you know, doing readings, helping people, whatever. It's just an expansion of that, but it's all the same thing. It's your survival. That's how I look
Right.
at it.
Yeah, I was never really afraid of it. I just thought it was weird that somebody was yelling at me in my head.
I get those. That's what I get a lot. I call them messages, but I know sometimes, you know, I hear these messages, but sometimes it's like it's
Yes.
it's screaming at me. It's like,
Yeah.
Right.
And everybody has different levels too, you know. So there are some people that have, like you do, and you're using it, which is good, because if you don't use it, it usually sneaks out somewhere else you don't want it to.
well, you know, it's the funniest thing, because, you know, developing this, once I realized what it was, well, like psychic, though, I was reading people psychically when I was like a kid. I didn't realize what I was doing, you know, and then finally you go, wait a minute. But I've been doing that since I was like a teenager, you know, telling people, how did you know that? You know, I just knew it
Just-
did. You know, or I'd
Just
say, so
did.
what made you say that? I heard it. Well, you know, I remember one time I had gone to a party, right? And I didn't know anyone there, so here I am. I'm just typical in the corner sipping on a cocktail, right? So whatever these people were talking about, I just, you know, and they were like just putting down people, shall we say, in a not so nice way, right? So I'm standing there, so I forget what I said. I said something equally sarcastic to the guy that was closest to me. He stopped dead in his tracks and said, "What did you just say?" And I really forget what it was, but I repeated it. I says, he says, "My grandmother used to say that to me all the time." Right? So,
Busted.
yeah. So why don't you tell people how they can get a hold of you if they need to inquire about...
Yeah, we can. We're on Facebook on New England Spirit Society. We also have a website, newenglandspiritsociety.org. You can also, there's a phone number right on the website. You can get a hold of us. You go on there and you'll get either mine or Jamie's phone. Call Jamie because she's sitting home doing nothing right now. She just had surgery. No, I mean, pretty much you can call us all hours of the day. I'm usually up 20 hours a day.
Wow.
If I'm lucky, I get 4 hours of sleep a night.
Well, I'm the opposite. No.
Right? but I mean, you can get a hold of us on my email is Eric, or actually boats.ness@gmail.com, and I believe it's jamie.ness@gmail.com for her as well. But you can get a hold of any one of us because we all have business cards. If you go to our website, you can get a hold of us, and you can actually ask questions. We have a forum. You can go on and ask questions for Paula or Pam, Keri, me, Brittany. Ammo and Rocky don't answer questions very well, but we have 2 dogs that work with us. But yeah, I mean, we have a very diverse group of people.
Now, what are just tweaks my interest here. What do the dogs do in this process?
Well, I actually, when I got injured as a firefighter, I ended up, I needed another avenue to run my energy because I was getting very angry because I got hurt. I got taken out of the job. So I took our Rottweiler, who had a really good nose, and we started working him with nose work, and he's a really good scent dog. And I was thinking, well, okay, maybe on that note, I can start doing like either lost and found or cadaver work or something like that, something to keep me busy. And then it slowly started as like there was an unseen force that just started working towards, bringing him to places that I know that are active and seeing how he reacts, when he reacts to something, make sure that he doesn't go full on alert and aggressive, but he lets me know that he alerts, and to just keep an eye on things, and slowly worked his nose training into sensual training, and so that was the route that we went with Rocky, and then we got Ammo, who works with Pam. And he picked up on it. He's used to alerting on certain things, so
They both alert on different energy, shall we say?
Yeah, it's and because we'll be standing there, and all of a sudden, Rocky or Ammo, they'll turn their head and they'll react, and they've actually they react in auditory. And Rocky, a lot of times, if there's something going on and it's dark, he'll push into me. And that's his way of saying, hey, pay attention. And I look down and I see which direction his head's looking in. Yeah, we have a video of when Ammo was walking through a room one night, and he alerted to a rocking chair. And he doesn't normally alert to an inanimate object, unless there's something to alert to, to guard Pam. So he alerted on that for some reason. It was out of his norm to focus on that chair. But yeah, so. And
did you get anything from the chair with?
I think the the next thing that happened was we had that sliding drawer incident.
Yes, we did.
So
Yeah.
it was, yeah, but
So now if someone contacts you, like, you know, and you agree to test the waters, shall we say, now, how long a process is it, and like what kind of equipment do you take, or do you
it's
send the mediums out there first?
no, actually the mediums,
feel it
the
out?
mediums do the remote. They'll do a remote reading first. They won't even touch the property.
Mhm.
They'll do a remote reading. Then we meet, see what they're seeing, and then we'll work on getting them out there to work on the property. So they're actually doing 2 readings. They're doing a remote and an on location. So they're doubling their efforts. But as far as us doing intake, we'll talk to the client, get an idea of what's going on, listen to what they got going on, and then we'll start talking to them because we have paperwork that they have to sign, like non-disclosures, media, if we can use their house and find things that we find, like on YouTube and stuff like that. So we got all this, and we slowly start building up. So you may call us today, and depending on the urgency of the activity, we may not be in there for 30 days because the mediums have their work to do. Ashley has it doesn't all just come poof. They have to
Sure.
they have to pull it in. They have to figure out what's coming in, if it's for this piece of property or not. A lot of times we've gotten information that was, the property's here, but we're focusing over here because it's all at one time used to be one piece of property. So, the land doesn't know that it's been divided up into different households.
Yeah,
It
that's
just-
happened more than once when I've
Right.
been reading. Yeah.
So I mean, we have to decipher where we're at, and so I'm figuring maybe we can, depending on the severity. I mean, if it's like crazy and it needs immediate assistance, then we go and we'll work on it. Static, just go boom, but dynamically. But we normally take a static approach to it, and about 30 days into it, we can work on showing up. We have an 8-camera HD surveillance system. That's an HD surveillance with audio. We have REM pods. We have
Voice recorders.
voice recorders. I mean, we have all this fancy equipment that costs a lot of money, but a lot of times I find my best readings or my best findings are with my audio recorder, my dowsing rods, or my pendulum. And we go in, and that's normally where I get most of my information.
So how would you use a pendulum for in this instance?
I'd go in, first the first and foremost is usually we get together and we ground, make sure that we're safe, we protect ourselves. But we go in, we ask questions. We never do you ever get argumentative, or we do not push the issue. We treat the spirits with respect. I mean, and we never get combative with it. If it seems to not like us, then we'll slowly back off. But with a pendulum, I'll walk into a room, make sure my energy's on it, because if my daughter used it, I got to make sure her energy's clear and add mine to it. Work on my yeses and nos, maybes, and then start asking yes and no questions. And first, people will be like, "What?" We've been around people in events. I'll be asking questions that have nothing to do with the property. Questions that either Keri, Paula, I know the answer to, just to check, to make sure that it's it's tuned in, and then we'll slowly start moving into questions.
And what kind of spirits or entities or energy do you capture on these audio recordings and or visual recordings?
We've caught some pretty good things visually. We have a case right now that we actually we're putting together for a for a review with a homeowner, we actually have something moving in a room.
Yeah, that was creepy.
And
Wow.
so,
And the growling.
right.
Wow.
Yeah, we got some growlings. We've had we used to belong to another paranormal group, and we had a one time at one of the residents, we were doing 2 residences. They were maybe 300 yards apart, and they had I call it a fan rocket juice. It came flying at the camera at like Mach speed, just a bright light.
Wow.
You know, and that was a really cool find when we saw that. We've asked questions, and we've gotten answers, and it's like, wait a minute, that was just Keri and I in that room. Who's that? You know, I've gotten a really great EVP once at a friend of Paula's house. Where
What? I'm sorry.
an EVP, electronic voice phenomenon.
Oh, okay, all right.
I'm sorry.
It's-
Yeah, and yeah,
English.
so
I only know Travel Channel.
right.
So,
So I want to look in. See, I want to look into doing reel-to-reel voice recordings to see what we pick up. But right now, the reel-to-reels are so expensive. So we actually have a cassette tape player that we're going to try out. That Keri and I have.
no, what would be the significance of reel to reel? To slow it down, or?
Well, not just reel to reel. It's more quality of. It's not a. So we can say that what we heard is not digital.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mhm. Oh,
That's my
I got.
problem.
Yeah.
with
Right.
that stuff.
Yeah.
It's-
Is it real or is it Memorex? You know.
That's right. Yeah, that's true.
So with a reel to reel or a cassette tape, it's more. It's not as digital. It's more. You know.
Because
Is
we
it,
used to, yeah, because I know I myself, in my daughter's room, that's the only place I've been able to catch something, but it was using a real recorder,
right.
not like a digital.
Right. But
So, well, you could probably get one, I'm sure, on Etsy or whatever they call
yeah,
it,
right now the good one's running about $1,000. But the thing
Well,
is,
Christmas is coming up.
Right.
Maybe Santa, you never know, ask
Right.
Santa.
Santa Claus is
But-
gonna come one day.
Not unless Santa hits the
see, the
megabucks.
thing is that you can only use the tape once. You can't reuse it.
Mhm,
Because
yeah.
I mean, back in the day when you used to make those play tapes on the cassette tapes,
Yeah.
you could actually hear the background of the old,
Yeah,
and
so
you
you
never
can-
could truly erase it.
Mhm.
So the reel-to-reel tapes, what was it? A roll of 1,000 feet was like almost
I
$1,000.
think so.
Wow.
Yeah,
I
it was
can't
really.
remember. We were
But
looking it up.
Wow, I
Yeah,
didn't
it was-
realize it was that expensive.
Yeah,
That
it was crazy. It was.
Everybody's got to hit megabucks for
well,
that.
maybe it wasn't. I don't. Maybe it wasn't 1,000. It was like maybe.
Wow.
Well, maybe it was
So-
2 rolls of 1,000 feet were for $1,000. But I mean, it
Still
was not.
expensive.
Yeah. But I mean, so right now it's cheaper to buy the cassette tapes. Use both. Actually, you can't even use both sides if you want to get technical, because once you flip it over, you're still going to get that bleed.
Yeah.
So you
Mhm.
only got like a 90 minutes. So you got 45 minutes,
yeah.
and then you got to throw that tape and put in a whole new tape. So we're trying that. It's we're hoping that's going to
Yeah,
work out.
trial
well.
and error. That's
Yeah.
how you
But I
improve.
mean, the thing is, I love to experiment. I mean, she'll be like, "Why are you taking that apart?" Because we can use it in something. I know we can use it in something. She's like,
Yeah,
So-
because I've
Right.
seen your
You're-
office.
That's right. Did you ever watch MacGyver?
yeah, right?
Well, now I have a question because I heard you mention YouTube. So do you have videos on there of?
Not as of yet.
Oh.
I was on, and I still do it. I stream on Twitch. It's twitch.net on if you type that in, and I was doing a lot of video game, and then the paranormal started picking up, and I would go out, and people were asking questions all the time about paranormal. So I would go out and I would find locations, and I would do just set up a camera and just do my own camera work or audio work. Or a friend of ours from Massachusetts and she's deaf, but she's a paranormal investigator, brilliant paranormal investigator for being deaf, but she uses a whole different realm of techniques because she can't hear. She uses all her other factors. But she
Wow.
couldn't. But she goes in with a voice recorder, and she used to have me do all her audio.
Huh.
And so I asked
Interesting.
her permission. Is it okay if I play this? And what I would do is I would stream it, and have people come in and they would listen, and I'd shut down. Nobody could make any noise in the channel, but they could all type their questions in. I'd pause it. We'd go back and we'd listen to it, and if and I would explain. It was basically like a learning environment for the listening to EVPs or doing video and such.
Wow.
But I need to get into that more often, but I need to do it again. It was fun.
Nice. Very interesting. Now, and so, do you find that any particular types of property or land are sort of more likely to have, have paranormal ongoings as opposed to other types of property?
Well, I guess every piece of property is going to have activity.
Depends on what was on it before.
In some
Yeah.
form or factor. Of course, like, you got battlegrounds like Normandy or Gettysburg.
Mhm.
I mean, big areas of imprinted energy of just death and destruction. I mean, and it's going to be there. It's just
And
weird.
the thing is, you never know with the land, because a lot of
Right.
times you don't know what's happened on the land.
Right.
But I mean, all of our land has been, it's living. The earth is a living thing.
Well, hug a tree, right?
Right.
Right.
So, but it is. I mean, if the earth weren't alive, we would not be alive. So
Mhm.
it has a lot of phenomena just by itself. When you look at it, it's when I do my reads, the first thing I do is the land. That's what I do, and I think from that more stems. You can get more. So then I move into the property itself. That's how I do mine, and it makes more sense to me. A lot of times the land is what we call damaged versus, needs to be cleaned up. It's, whatever. And that has nothing to do with the house, or the house is just has phenomena because it's being populated by the ground. Not always, but it's definitely a huge factor.
So, and now when you get called to do readings, does it ever sort of, when you get called, right, do you ever get sort of signals or messages before you even get there, like,
Yes.
I'm really on, something strong?
I do a remote read, so I'm never on the property first.
Mm-hmm.
So I will do a remote read, and then I'll do more when I get on the property itself.
Nice. And how long would you say your reading cycle? We'll say for a long reading, how long would you be on the property?
Well, you mean walking the property or doing the remote read first?
No, once you get to the property.
It depends on how big the property is.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
see,
Yeah.
I'm only used to the Travel Channel.
But it does. I mean, it depends. It depends. And it depends on, I'll also look at where they're saying, if they're saying that there's actually problem on the property as well.
Mhm.
But usually there is. I mean, the land doesn't separate itself at the end of the house,
Right,
conveniently,
exactly.
or not
Right.
conveniently. So it can work either way. It just depends on how big the land is. And I just walk the land and I just listen. And when I listen, I write. And
Nice.
that's how I do it.
That's the way to do it.
That is the way to do it.
It's actually kind of cool to watch.
Yeah. So
No.
I myself am used to the Travel Channel when it came to medium. And working with Paula for the first time, she's laying on the ground. I'm like,
That's right, I did.
is she all right?
Or
And
touching the trees.
Yeah, and she's like, I'm like, and she just kind of looks up at me and she's like, be quiet. Okay.
I think one of the first times I watched her do it, she touched the tree and then she leaned at it, and I'm like, is she okay?
I did all
Is she
kinds of
having
weird
trouble
things.
breathing or something? She's going to stop?
Oh yeah, I'll
Nope.
lay on the ground. I'll do all kinds
yeah.
of weird things. But trees are record keepers. They have knowledge. So I access that
that's-
knowledge.
It's so true. I take pictures of trees. must have hundreds on my phone. I'll take a picture of a tree and then later check it out, and I always call it, the nature spirits are unbelievable.
Yes.
What you see
Yeah.
there is just incredible.
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
can get a tree. You can get a reading off that tree.
You can.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, but ground is the same. You know, sometimes once in a while it gets confusing. The confusing thing for me is not the land itself, but when you have had two properties that are near each other, and they've broken up some of the properties and kind of moved things around, the lines and everything. Because there's a couple of times when I've gone to do a reading and I've said, okay, I feel like I'm on two properties and I'm not sure why. And then the person who was, waiting for me to get what I needed to, he would actually go back to the client and say, okay, did the property lines change it? And they'd say, oh yeah, they did. But nobody knew that until
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm getting confusion. So, so that.
Where am I?
Right. Yeah, that can be kind of weird. So, and I've done, there's been things where like driveways were switched, or the property line was moved or something, or there used to be a house on it. So things like that are a little bit weirder.
And do you ever get sort of not really confused, but
Sometimes, yeah.
You're picking up on
Yeah, and that's why I'll stop and I'll
entity
ask.
or an energy.
Yeah.
I don't know what the proper term is that you
Yeah.
use, but I'll just say spirit, because
Yeah.
that's what I always use when you sort of honing in on a spirit. Do you ever get confused with that also? Just, you're getting a really good hit, shall we say, and then all of a sudden, well, wait a minute. You sort of feel something else
Yes.
trying to
Occasionally,
move in. Yeah.
occasionally, yeah. But mostly it's, like I said, mostly I'm doing that, first remote read. And then I may get other things when I get in the property itself. Or sometimes I do see them when that property that we did where that light came right at the camera. Yeah. Yeah, that one was different. And that one had a place where the house was here, and then lines had changed, like there were other houses that were pretty close all around it, right? And their lines had changed over time.
Yep.
So that was a little bit difficult because I feel like I'm on the property, and then all of a sudden I feel like, wait a minute, I'm not on the property. And so I'll ask those guys, okay, this is what I'm sensing. Am I right? I mean, is this my confusion or am I off kilter? And usually you say, no, you're right.
Right.
So when you get confused, like on these properties, what do you get, like sort of feel energy crashing into
Yeah,
each
something
other?
like I'll
or-
feel something. I'll just feel like it's wrong. Like I'll feel like I should be seeing something else, or feeling something else, or hearing something else, or and that's usually how it works. I mean, I just feel like all of a sudden I'm confused, and I'm like, I feel like this was a larger property at one time, but they haven't disclosed that because I've told them not to. So then I'll just put it in the read, question mark. Is this, and then I just do the whole read and get back with everybody, and they'll go, yep.
And how long you been doing those readings, those types of readings?
I have to say I've always done those types of things, but not as a group, as an adult with everybody. I mean, it's something that I used to feel in childhood, so I don't know. Well, we were on another team first, so I don't know, how long has that been?
How long you been doing this for?
As a team, we've been going at it for 3 years.
Yeah, we're
As
on our third year.
this is as New England Spirit Society. November was our first year anniversary, so we've been doing it.
Congratulations.
And we've actually been very busy. Very
Well,
busy.
I would imagine, especially around New England, that's
Yeah.
right where they first step foot here, or
Yeah.
And then we did it with another group, but then people in my life have always been calling me. My brother will call me, hey, I'm going to buy a new house. Can you come check it out?
what? You can't say no, right?
No, of
You
course
can't
not.
say no.
It's fun. It's fun
Yeah.
for me. It's fun.
I mean, we live on a road called Ambush Rock Road, and It was a sign. It was a site of a First Nation ambush on some English.
Oh, wow.
Well, and what happened is the colonel from he was the colonel for the militia. He was hired to go out and hunt the natives and chase them away, take them out, and he'd get paid by scalp. So that was his way of his receipt was to bring home a piece of whatever and you know, be it what it is. I mean, you know, people were like, you know, and so then the Indians came back, natives came back, and they waited for this family and a bunch of people to come back from church one Sunday, and they ambushed them. They paid them back. But I've been out. We've had like bonfires and stuff, and it'd be 2 o'clock in the morning, sit out at the bonfire, just sitting there relaxing, and you'd hear like whooping and hooting and people running, and it's like, coyotes?
Yeah.
Please? Coyotes?
I hear things every now and then.
Yeah.
I'm like, is that an owl?
But-
So you ever take your equipment there to see if you can capture anything?
I try not to investigate on my own property because I just don't.
Right.
I don't want it drawn in.
That's like
Yeah,
a
that's true,
catch-22.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, there was one night I had gone to let the dogs out, and you heard whistling in the woods. There was somebody whistled from over here, and somebody whistled over here. I went tactical. You know, I'm out on the porch in cold February, trying to figure out who's whistling. You know, and it's just really weird. And there was like a whistling down in the field, and I'm like, I'm slowly.
Yeah, that would
walking.
freak me out too.
I'm slowly bringing the dogs in without raising my voice, so I'm not trying to, you know, all lights are out, and it's just like, you know, it's just whistling. And it's like, it's trying to get your attention. Do you want to go into the woods? So, you know, I'm out, I'm bringing the dogs in quietly. We're slowly pushing back to the house, you know, and the dogs are looking at me like, what is wrong with him? You know, and I'm not sure if they can hear it, but I'm hearing, you know, and that's not normal whistling for, you know, for midnight. You know, and I'm just like, okay, bring him in.
That's
You
the
know.
name of the owl.
But I mean, it was just
Whistler.
weird. It was just, you know, some people say that, you know, like Bigfoot or the elementals, the
It's called the Fae.
yeah, the Fae will try to do that to draw people in, you know. And I thought it was really weird, and I'm like, okay, have a nice day. So now, of all things, you know, we have an offering stump that is we've set up,
nice.
and we actually have done offerings and everything, and it's, you know, we'll go out and offer the spirits in the area, you know, and
Nice.
we'll bring out every now and then we'll bring out some beer
It's what they used to do in the old country.
and so I'd offer them some food or some beer and stuff like that, and it's
It's like a
just
seance, sort of.
well,
You know,
it's also
No, it's-
it's
it's
also
like a-
paying respect
It's like
to
a
the
tribute, yeah,
Yeah.
because they used to do that in Scotland to make sure, you know, they stay over there.
Ah.
this is your corner.
This is my
I
corner.
will provide you with ale.
Like the birdcage up back
yeah.
that we've decorated it
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
put
Nice.
offerings in there.
But I mean, yeah, it's just,
creates a boundary.
our neighbors look at us like we're crazy, but
Creates a
Hey.
good boundary.
Hey, they've been doing that since we moved.
yeah.
There you are. Maybe some viewers have some questions for you. You know, feel free to call in, ask some questions. But you were doing a reading out there with some
Yes.
cards, so do you want
I
to tell us a
was.
bit about that?
Well, sure. I'll try to grab them so that people can see them a little bit. I don't know what I did with them. but,
I was intrigued with that one. I mean,
yeah, they're
it's
kind
sort
of
of
pretty.
a little
together.
chart system there. I mean, I do tarot readings. I don't write any. I only write down when I'm doing mediumship.
Oh.
Other than that, I just.
No, I like to write. I don't say I'm a writer, but I like to write, and it helps
Ultimate
me.
present for her would be books.
Yes.
Right.
Books, papers, and pens.
But only
You can never
these
go
ones.
wrong.
I love those pens.
I know I'm very fussy about those. So you know.
Do you want me
why.
to be your Vanna in the camera?
That's why I buy my own pens for work now.
I don't know where the camera is, but if we do that,
Right now, it's
Yeah, it's kind of on you right now. So
yeah.
Or over here.
There we go. So you can't really see them, but okay. So basically what I did was, I know Norm likes these cards. So, and the cards are unusual. They don't usually do black. And these have a nice little handprint on the back.
Oh,
Got a phone
phone.
call.
Huh?
We have a phone call.
Welcome to Norm's Community Corner.
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody.
Hi, Mary.
Mary.
Hi.
How are you, sweetie?
Hi. It's a shock.
It is.
It is Mary.
Totally shock. Totally shock.
And how?
Yep.
So tomorrow, if anybody wants to call in, I will have a memorial for him on my show tomorrow, starting at 5 o'clock. And if they want to call in and say how they knew Norma, or just give their condolence to their family, they're more than welcome. And Dave, you're welcome to come in tomorrow. And I'm trying to get all the co-hosts that went through the years with him. I know Matt can't make it, but he's got his show from 4 to 6. But I hope to even call Matt up and have him say a couple of words, if he can do it.
Yeah. So Mary, share a little bit of your relationship now, your connection. You had a lengthy one.
Oh, yeah. Norm and I go way back, and I mean way back, well over 50 years in Concord. I would say the late 50s.
Wow.
That I got to know Norm, because there was a place in Concord that was called Mr. Hot Dogs, and that's what everybody ended up, like on a Saturday night, Friday night, and just a gathering, just to have a hot dog or whatever. And everything. So, and then we lost contact, I'd say, about 20 years later.
Yeah.
We lost contact. And then I moved over on Walker Street years ago, and I happened to see him, and I looked at him, and I said, oh my God, I know this guy. And I says, no. He says, Mary? And I said, yes. From Concord. I said, yes, because he knew all my family and my sister's husband and everything. So we started talking. I ended up on his show maybe 3 or 4 times. And then he says to me, right after the show, he says, how about starting your own show, Mary? He said, you're good at it. But, I was a type that was a lone wolf. A lone wolf. And I really say, thank you, Norm, for helping me out when I did, because he would come on my show and help me, when I started the show. It was a half-hour show.
Yeah.
And then a year later, I ended up with an hour show.
Nice.
Where I'm at now. So I blame Norm for it. I really do, because it's his fault. And I thank him, and I thank Glenn. Glenn helped me a lot, just starting out and everything. And both of them, especially Norm.
Yeah.
Thank him, because he's the one that got me started. And then I ended up almost 3 years with him as a co-host with him. I was his third co-host.
Oh, wow. See, I never knew that, Mary.
Yeah, I was. 2.5 years I was with him, but I got to do too many shows, and I ended up getting sicker and sicker, and I couldn't do it anymore. So I told Mom, I'm sorry, but I can. But before me, it was Laurie. I think she was 5 or 6 years with Laurie. And Matt was his first one. So it was Matt, Laurie, me, and now you, Dave, as a co-host with him. So I'm trying to get, if I can, get all the co-hosts together tomorrow.
Yeah.
And just a remembrance on how we started in on 23 because of Norm.
That's right. Exactly. He's fantastic. So, Mary, though.
So if you have time, of course, I'm on at 5 o'clock cruising with Mary, same channel 23.
Yeah.
So if you would like to come in tomorrow and join us with the other co-host that was with Norm, please, you're more than welcome.
Thanks. So, Mary, now tell us the story, because it's such a great story about, you being his bodyguard and protecting him.
that was in Concord.
That's a great
No,
story.
in fact, he used to say how he really was. No, I'm sorry, but I got to tell the truth. He was a troublemaker. He really was. He would start something and back away. And, you know, like I said, we were good friends and everything, but I didn't know at the time what he was doing. I shut the home, I really did. Where Norm was, you saw me.
That's
And
good.
at the end, no one touched them. All they had to do was look at me, and I wasn't very big. I maybe weighed about 100 pounds then, and everything. And they would say, "We all don't want to tangle with you."
Yeah. Wow. Nice.
Mary. Hi, Mary.
Hi, Liz.
So, all right, Mary. We'll get back to this, but yeah, I'll plan on being here tomorrow, Mary.
Thank you. Thank you.
All righty.
It'll be, for 5 o'clock on for. It'll be 3 of us. His last 3 hosts. I'm going to call up Matt and have him say something because he was his first co-host
Okay.
and everything with that.
Yeah.
So I thank you, and Norm, wherever you are, may God bless you and his family.
Yep. All right, Mary. Okay.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, Mary.
Mary.
She's so sweet.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
I was listening on the way up here.
Oh, yeah, so she was just explaining, because she had these cards out there, I was intrigued, so
Yeah,
she was
it's,
in the
I know.
process.
it's actually a really nice deck. It's called the Shamanic Healing Oracle. I don't think I can pronounce the lady's name. Michelle A. Motuzas?
Perfect.
Motuzas? Something like
That
that.
works.
But I really like them. I like the black background.
It's pretty.
But they just have nice, I don't do cards often, so they just have nice topics on them. But what happened was, I pulled these out and I said, okay, so I am going to do, some kind of a little reading maybe, because I know Norm always liked to do that.
Yeah.
Always wanted me to do one, so I thought, and the last time I forgot to bring my cards.
Uh-oh.
So I said, I gotta bring the cards. So when I did, it was really funny because I started, all of a sudden, I was putting them out in groups of 2, which I never do. And then I'm looking at it and I'm going, okay, apparently this is Norm's reading now, because apparently I'm just doing what he wants me to do right now. So he had the cards in like groups of 2, which was really funny. And so I took that and I kind of wrote out what it looked like he wanted to say based on the cards and their information. So it was really funny because I was going to probably take it in a different way, but this says moving to a sacred space, a transformation of sorts, into a stronger place of self-love, a retreat of sorts. This was divine timing, which of course is not ours, but directed somewhat for us, for our benefit. There is joy in letting go, to do a retreat of sorts, to rest and replenish. There are sometimes what we call omens that can give warning and prepare, but we are never truly prepared. Moving into a space of joy and letting go, and there's always joy in letting go. And remember, we are all winners. Norm Moody.
Right.
Norm Moody. I signed it Norm because that was his.
That was
Yeah.
nice. Very nice.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that wasn't anything I did. I just listened. That's all I did.
She's like, apparently,
So it's
this
a good
is
one,
not
Norm.
me.
Thank you. Yep.
Beautiful.
Well, welcome, Liz.
Thank you. I would have been here sooner, but I had a doctor's appointment that I had to get squared away. But I made it. I drove after the sunset, only for Norm.
There you go. Very good.
I can't see at night, so here we are, and I'm grateful to share space with you guys. Oh my God, I don't want to cry.
No crying. No crying.
Yeah, I almost got myself at the end. Yep.
So I'm grateful to be here with you guys. And I have my cards.
And I have my card.
Well, you could do a reading.
Well, these are my Talking to Heaven cards, which I felt I was only bringing 2 decks with me, and then Norm wanted these, so here we are. These are just little messages. This is from the James von Prague deck, and these are messages directly. I use these a lot when I do mediumship. I wrap up my mediumship session with my clients with a card from their loved ones. This is like a little direct message from them to the sitter, right, to my client. So I'm going to pull a card and see what Norman wants us to know. So the card is, I am learning over here.
Oh, wow.
That is so him, right? So I am learning over here. We never stop learning, right? We're always in the process of gaining as much information as we can, and everybody that crosses our paths teaches us something. I know for myself, Norman taught me so much. Okay, I can't. I'm sorry.
Deep breath. Take a nice deep breath. Can I take a couple of them?
Or nobody's going to be able to talk.
That sounds like I don't want to start a chain of events here.
That's okay.
Oh boy.
Nice deep
Sorry,
breath.
I'm not a crier.
Just look at me.
I would kill Joy.
I would have killed you.
So I'm hoping that you guys can call in and tell us a little bit about what Norman taught you. What was your takeaway message? Anything that he inspired you with, or just anything that you want to share with us, just to keep us. There we go, incoming call. I'm gonna answer it.
Welcome to Norm's Community Corner.
Hi, how are you?
We're great. How are you?
Great. I'm calling in and I'm watching your show.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
So,
Yes. Do you have something you like to?
something happened to Norm.
Did
What?
Did something happen to me?
Did something happen to Norm?
Norm has passed
When did Norman pass?
Saturday?
Really?
Really?
Oh, he was a good friend. I know Norman.
Mm-hmm.
I met him a lot of times.
They
We
was.
went to the mayor's dance, the luncheon.
Mm-hmm.
I met him a lot of times in the Market Basket. So he was an awesome friend.
He was a fantastic spirit, very spiritual.
Do you want to tell us your name?
Yes. Yeah.
What's your name,
So every
dear?
time
Yep.
my name is Donna.
Donna.
I usually call in. He usually calls me Diane, but my name is
All
Donna.
right. Yeah.
That's totally him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he usually calls me Ed.
And me, Bob. So.
I don't think he ever gave me a different
But-
name, did he?
Yeah.
No, you always knew your name.
Aw.
Yeah,
So-
I've gone to his house for a reading too,
Yeah.
and he's so awesome. But because I was kind of gathering what you people were saying, he was, and it's like, okay, what happened to Norman? So,
Yeah.
and it's like, okay. So I was trying to figure out what's going on here.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, he is still with us, just in a different shape, right? In a different form. He's honestly,
Dimension.
he has never left us. I know I can speak for myself, and I'm sure you guys can vouch as well.
Yeah.
He has been with me every
yeah.
step of the way in my daily life, just even road signs and little things. And I'm like, yeah, I got it.
Yeah. And,
License
Because I was wondering why,
Yes.
I don't know the guy's name with the glasses on that's sitting by the lady that's moving her hands all around. I was wondering why he was all kind of here lately sitting in Norm's spot.
right. Yeah. David.
David.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we had just switched seats 2 weeks ago. I know this was
Yeah.
his spot. I was always sitting to my left. And 2 weeks ago, we switched just because I always used to tell him I would always have to look to my right. And I used to go, Norm, after the 2 hours, my neck.
Yeah.
So a couple of weeks ago, he said, well, we'll switch. So that's how I ended up in this seat. So,
So are you going to take his spot?
well, till the end of the year. There's a few more
the end?
shows coming up. I don't know what's happening after that. I'm not a Manchester. I'm not a Manchester resident, so I'm not qualified to get a spot.
They're not going to get rid of Norm's Community Center, are they? The corner?
Well, we
Don't know,
hope
have
that
an
the
answer.
answer is no, and we will
Hopefully.
do whatever we can to keep it going, but there's only so much
Right.
we can do, realistically. So,
Right.
you know, we continue to honor him and carry his mission forward the best that we know how, and
Right.
we just hope for the best, and whatever happens, it is what he would want.
Well, I'm kind of hope that the show doesn't go away because it did a lot of good for me too when he was around and stuff, and he kind of helped me out a lot too.
Yeah.
So,
He helped lots of people. We would go out after the show. We'd go for dinner, and I didn't do it, but he would just walk up to people, introduce himself, and away he'd go. You know, but I mean, he was fantastic. You know, he enlightened so many lives, and you know, just
Right.
brought so much joy to people that
yeah.
you know he has never seen before and hasn't seen since,
Yeah.
and just gave him such joy giving him that reading.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
genuine.
Yeah.
And sometimes his readings, he did hit on the spot, and you know, quite a bit of it did come true for me, you know,
Mm-hmm.
in his reading and stuff. So, yeah. So, I'm not supposed to believe in the readings because I'm a Christian, but I just can't help it, you know.
Listen to your
But-
heart.
I've always been into card reading and stuff like that. I just can't help it, you know.
Well, yeah, but you know, you're a Christian, so you're not. So get ready for this. I'm a Catholic. I go to Mass every Sunday. I haven't missed Mass in about
Right.
14 or 15 years. Look,
Yes.
cards, crystal ball, psychic readings, mediumship. So, you know, it's not what, you know, people can tell you,
Yeah.
but, you know, it's what you feel. That's, if you feel it, then it's for you.
That's right.
Right, right.
So,
But so, can that lady that's down at the other end with her cards with the black background, can she give me a reading?
sure she can.
I was trying to put out Norm's reading, but okay.
Sure. Let's see
Let
what
her set up
her mode of operandi is here. If you're gonna get your energy in these cards somehow for her.
Okay, so what is your
Okay.
name, ma'am?
My name is Donna.
Donna. Okay, Donna. Do you have a question, Donna?
I'm just concerned about my family.
Okay. Sometimes they just don't want to cooperate.
It's coming. Don't worry, Donna.
These are very slippery.
Uh-huh.
These are slippery.
Well, you know, like the size of them, they're awkward. I know.
It's not. It's just these are really coated, and it's unusual for the cards to be that coated.
They're very glossy.
Now, how many cards in the reading?
I just pulled.
Oh, okay. Just curious.
So, what was your question again, Donna?
Question about my family.
Okay, is it? Can you give me? I don't want you to tell me what it is. Give me a little more.
It has to do with my kids.
Okay.
Oh, now they're really coming out, Donna, the cards.
Yeah.
Oh, these two came out by themselves. How do you like that?
Meant to be.
We'll see. So,
Yeah.
are your kids younger or are they older?
They're older.
Okay. Well, I've got a card here that says it's all good. So that's what I'm going to go with.
Okay, that's a good start.
It is. So, do you have, are these girls that we're talking about mostly?
No.
Interesting. Okay. Okay. What is the how do I say this? What is the issue that you are looking at? Because I've got some conflicting info here.
What's your conflicting
Is there a
info?
particular issue that you're looking for one of the kids?
Health.
Okay. That's a little tough. Can you tell me how old your children are?
50 and 40.
Young adults.
Okay,
Yeah.
For that, yes.
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
This is really funny. Okay, so is one of them a teacher by any chance?
No.
No. Okay. Is one of them that wants to be? Do they like teaching?
That I don't know. They probably both could do good at teaching other people, but they don't teach.
Okay. So it sounds like there's a lot of something going on that, like, they're not very motivated to do things. Is that what I'm hearing?
Uh-huh.
At those ages, I'm honestly not sure that you're going to motivate them in the way that you want to. They're kind of old enough to... There's not much you can do about it at this age, is what I'm saying, if they're older. Oh, that one's stuck together.
Mm-hmm.
Do you normally have problems reaching out and trying to motivate them in the past?
In the past?
Yes.
When they were younger?
Younger till now.
No.
You didn't have any no problem motivating them?
No.
Okay, so then what is the specific issue right now that you're dealing with?
Did you hear it, Donna?
What?
What is the specific issue that you're worried about now, that you're dealing with now?
I'm dealing about one of the boys' health.
Okay. I'm going to say he's not putting his energy where it really wants to go. I'm not sure if you think that's a fair assessment, but this is what's showing up in the cards. That's why I was kind of confused, needed a little more information. So, is one of them pretty sensitive to things?
One of them is, yeah.
Okay. So for this one, cards are showing up to me like psychic development, new beginnings. They need to be grounded. So it sounds like maybe this one needs to kind of move in that direction, maybe find a spiritual teacher or something, or something he's interested in regarding psychic things. And he should try some of those things out and see if there's something that resonates with him. It's nothing that he has to quit a job over or anything, but if he feeds that side of him, he may find out that he really likes it and he really moves that way. But it's always something that can be balanced. Work can be balanced with a psychic side for sure. Yep. Did you have a question, or?
No.
You were agreeing?
Yeah.
Okay, so you understand with this, with the child that we're talking about?
Right.
Okay.
Well, Donna, I drew one card when you said you were concerned about health for one of
Yeah.
your boys, all right? So right here, I drew the Page of Wands, all right? And if you could see it, it's, it's a page naturally as a younger person. So you told me they're between 40 and 50 or 40 and 50. But anyway, all right. So young at heart, regardless of the age. This is somebody that's young at heart. They have, I'm going to say they have lots of good energy in there. As you can see, the wands, he's got a rod, one there. It's nice, it's planted solid on the ground. So, all right, so everything I'm saying is going to concern his health. So it's nice, it's planted there, it's nice and solid. It's not wilting either way, if you can see on the little cloak that the page is wearing. There's salamanders there in a circle. So when they're like that, they transform. They're very adaptable. So even if if there's any whatever health concerns that you may have, health issues, it's nothing that is major or that he won't overcome. And I'm going to say, not only will he overcome these illnesses, but a lot quicker and sooner and full than you're thinking. So don't I wouldn't waste a lot of sleep over it, Donna. All right?
Okay. Yeah.
Donna, I want to
Yeah.
add to what David said about the health, staying on the topic of the health. So I pulled a few cards as well, and the first card that I pulled was victory and success. Okay, so whatever health issues that are coming in, those are going to be addressed. They're going to be wrapped up, put to bed. Okay, these things are temporary. Second card is wisdom. So it's about getting all the information that he needs in order to come up with a game plan with his doctors, with his team of doctors. Okay, so this is about getting all the information before making the next step, moving forward. Memories of love is the third card. Memories of love is him wanting to go back to when he was healthier, when he didn't have all these issues, and that is coming. Now, looking at the very bottom of the deck, the overall energy of the situation about his health, your kid's health overall, is accelerated motion. So to what David just said, this is something that's going to go quickly. This is something that's going to be addressed. It's going to be diagnosed or brought to light very quickly, addressed, put to bed, moving forward. Okay, so this is, like you said, nothing for you to worry about because things are going to happen very quick and it's going to be a non-issue.
Okay. Okay. That's good. Thanks.
You're very welcome.
Very welcome, Donna.
Do you have any other questions?
No,
All right.
I was just concerned about that.
All right.
So
Thanks.
you guys helped me out.
Thanks for sharing with us, Donna.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm glad that you all are together in remembering Norman.
And how can you not? I know. How can you not?
A triple
So-
I
Leo.
know.
All right.
So thank you. Merry Christmas.
Merry
You as well,
Christmas.
Donna.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, how unfortunate to have to share
Find
the
out
news
that way.
on
Yeah,
TV.
I know.
Yeah. Oh, incoming
And-
call.
Wow.
Hey, we're famous.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Norm's Community Corner.
Hi, good afternoon.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Hello.
We lost you.
Call back. I don't know what happened.
Probably a
Hopefully
dead
she'll call
zone.
back.
Yeah.
Well, that's like me. I mean, I live in the woods. I'm talking about.
Yeah, and all you hear is bits and pieces of the information.
I'm sorry, are you drowning?
Well, I always lived in the city till I've just moved up to
Oh,
New
here we
Hampshire the beginning of the year. Good afternoon, Norm's Community Corner.
Yes, hi everyone. Liz, it's Lana.
Lana!
Hi everyone.
Lana, hello.
Oh
Love you,
boy, I
love
just
you.
happened to catch you guys. Well, I wanted to call in to send my love to everyone around the world, to Norm, May he continuously rest in peace. I knew Norm not as well as some of all of you, but the times that I did meet him, funny, very outgoing, said what he wanted to say, he didn't care.
That's true. That's right.
That's what we
And
like.
Liz, you know that with the triple Leo, you know that, right?
That's right.
You know, he always talked about his struggles in the past.
Yeah.
And we know in our lives, we know that when we have struggles, in order to get through them is to help each other heal as well as ourselves.
Yes.
So he always took the time to listen to people, to share his experiences, his journey here on earth, to help others. And it did at a raise.
Oh, you're breaking up, Lana. Big time.
Scott, and his name.
Oh, Lana, we can't hear you.
Again?
We can't hear. We hear about every 10th word, Lana. Sorry. Try again. Call back again. All right?
Okay.
All right. That's like me in the woods. It's the same.
yeah,
I'm talking to my
it's-
sister. That's what she says.
Yeah, you gotta like tuck yourself in a little corner to get that
Yeah.
reception.
How about now?
Really.
How about now? Can you hear me now?
I'll be talking to her in the recliner. I'll recline.
But yeah,
Wait,
you
did
lose
you
the
move?
whole co-
Did you move?
Yes, there she is.
Nobody has a real phone anymore.
Right.
Welcome to Norm's Community Corner. I bet this is Lana.
You must be psychic.
No,
No,
look,
she's
no.
not. That is Lana, because we can't get
Right.
through.
Oh no, Lana! Time for a landline.
I was just gonna say that. Yeah.
Well, what can you
Lana.
do?
Yep.
Do you know Lana?
She was my guest. Weren't you here for that?
No,
She was on the show with me.
no, I wasn't here
Probably
for
like
that.
two segments ago. Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I was here. I was here.
So it was before you and I were here.
Oh,
It was
all right.
the episode before. Yeah,
Oh, all right.
yeah. Oh, there she goes.
Welcome to Norm's Community Corner.
Okay, it's Lana again.
Oh, all right. Loud and clear, Lana. Yes.
Much better.
Here I am babbling. I'm like, okay, if that's the sign from Norm, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, right.
That's
But, oh, God. So, like I was saying, no matter what, Norm always talked about his personal life, his professional life, and shared so many stories with not just all of us, but with everyone. So I wanted to send so much love to Scott and to everyone, his family, his son, everyone. And most of all, remembering him, his ego and all, as large as it was. You know, and he was, I'll tell you, he used to bust chops left and right. And even if he did it underneath his breath, it didn't matter. But and that's what I loved about him. Ego or not, he just said it how it was. He was always there to help anybody he possibly could, even though no matter what he's been through in his life. So I'm trying not to get emotional. So no matter what he's been through, to me and to all of us, he is a winner. And he used to say that to me all the time, Liz, and you knew that.
Of course.
And be like, no, I don't think that way. You know, we're here to serve. And he always served,
Yeah,
but I understood what he meant.
exactly.
Because going through life and going through your journey and living his truth, his authentic self, he was very raw.
Yes.
He was very how he was, but he always helped people, and he really never took anything for granted, looking at the trees or, you know, going for a walk and everything. And I know he's had his illnesses in the past, and I'm just so grateful that he has crossed and through my journey through life with him. I'm very grateful that I got to meet you, Liz, too, before that, and
Absolutely.
anyone else. And Scott, so much love to you and to his children. And I just really wanted to praise Norm so much because he is so deserving of it.
He
Deep
is.
down in my heart, and I really mean that. And I love him, I always will, and I carry him, and like all of you, in my heart every day. and I wish all of you the best.
Thank you.
And that's it. Sorry, I was babbling so much.
That's
No,
all right.
That's what we want. We want to hear how he impacted your lives. That's what we want people to call and share a little bit about, what impact. And you're right. He was always very raw in his words, and it was like he led by example. Because that busting the chops was his way of helping us let our hair down a little bit. Right? Because we're so caught up in the hustle and bustle of life every single day that we're so rigid. We're so caught up in this 3D world. And he just led by example. And it just radiated that we felt comfortable around him to say it like it is. People are still going to get mad no matter what, right? So why not?
He liked to shake it up.
Yes.
And I think, too, the big thing is I don't think even he ever realized how much he's impacted so many people. Like, I just heard a woman that didn't even know he passed, and I was kind of in awe, but I understand that's going to happen, Yeah. But even if it was just a smile, we're all here to support each other and to help each other, because at the end of the day, we all go home the same place.
That's right.
But he definitely has a special place in everyone's heart, and I think even more so, and I know he will definitely look upon all of this and all of us knowing that he has helped so many, even going through his own struggles.
That's
and
right.
again, I wish all of you, and Scott, so much love, sweetheart. I'm sending you so much love to him and his son and his daughter-in-law, because that was his world. Besides the radio station and all the people he's met, was his family and Scott. So, Liz, keep in touch. All of you, Merry Christmas. So much love. And Norm, you are a winner in my heart and to everyone's. And thank you.
Thank
Merry
you, Lana.
Christmas. Thanks, Lana.
Okay, guys, have a great evening.
You as well, honey.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, boy. Lana and I met, I think it was probably my very first time on TV. Somebody's calling.
Wow.
Told you.
Good afternoon, Norm's Community Corner.
Hi, I'll try again. I was just, I'm calling from Missouri. My name is Debbie.
Welcome, Debbie.
And oh my goodness, I'm watching on Facebook Live, and there's kind of a delay, but I just wanted to say a few things about Norm. I met him a long time ago. My husband and I met him and did a couple of events with him back in the early 2000s before we moved out west.
Mm-hmm.
And my husband passed in 2019, was devastating for me. And Norm called me. Messaged me, on Facebook Messenger, and he said, Debbie, I have a message for your husband. Call me right away when you feel you can. And I'll tell you, that meant the world to me. I talked to him, and the only person who could lend any comfort was Norm.
And how?
And I appreciate him so much just for taking the time to say, I recognize that Ralph passed, and I really want to, reach out to you. And he was an amazing man. That's all I can say. Very gifted, spiritual. He had a way about him, but that was just Norm. He was a really good person.
Absolutely.
And very thankful for his presence here in the world, and all the people I know he has touched. And I feel my heart goes out to Scott and his family. I met his family when they were young. And they're wonderful people, and I just don't know what else I can say except that he will be really, really missed. And I'm sad that I can't talk to him right now.
Yep.
But you can.
He's still with you.
He can hear you.
He's still with us. Spiritually.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
all he would ever tell me was that Ralph was with me and not to worry, and not to be sad, because he was right with me every minute. And now I'm really glad that Ralph can be with him too.
Of course.
It gives me comfort.
Absolutely.
No.
Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing that beautiful story.
Yeah.
You're welcome. And I mean, I just felt the need to call in, and I felt like a pressure, like Ralph was saying, call. You need to say something.
There you go.
So,
See, so he is with you. You're welcome. There's proof in the pudding.
That's it right there, yeah.
Yes. He was definitely gifted. I mean, he was the real deal, and I haven't met anybody like that where they were the real deal. There's a lot of people that aren't,
Yeah,
but Norm was, and he's a great guy.
he is.
That was my favorite thing about
Fantastic.
Norm, was the fact that he was real.
Yeah,
There was
that's
no
right.
filter. You got it.
That's
Never
right.
had to wonder.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because
That's
that's what
right.
a life should be.
right?
That's
Unfiltered,
so true.
unapologetic.
We went out to eat with him one time, and that was an experience. But he was just laughing and joking with his wait staff. But when he didn't like something, he let you know. And he was. I loved him for that.
Yeah.
He just,
We need more of that in today's society,
A
right?
lot more.
Definitely.
We need to go
Yes,
back
we
to the
do.
A
basics
lot
and
more.
back
Yes.
to our truth.
Yep.
well, thank you for letting me, to talk and everything. And I'll put the room for someone else to call. But I send all my love to everyone, and I'm out in Missouri right now, so.
All right.
Thank you
Just
so
take
much.
care and keep it going.
All right. Thanks for sharing.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Blessings.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye. That's so beautiful.
It was. Yeah.
They can keep the snow, though, please.
Yes! So when I
Right?
parked, it was already starting back up.
What was?
The
Nothing?
white stuff that
You're
comes
kidding.
from upstairs.
Oh, no. Oh, that's right. What? Only 3 inches.
Somebody's got
right?
dandruff.
Yeah.
3 inches by tomorrow night. That's nothing.
Yeah, they said listen an inch
It's a
down.
walk in the park. Right?
No, we're used to it. I'm used to it anyway. We should all
We're
be
already in
used to it living
December, so,
in.
we can
Right,
kind of
exactly.
Nah, just a
months.
dusting for Christmas,
Yeah.
then go away.
That's all, yeah. That's what
Just
we
a
will allow.
Not 3-4 feet, just the dusting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a feeling it's going to be an okay winter.
Yeah.
It's not going to be chaotic.
It's been below normal, though, the past several days.
Yes.
So whatever they're going on, what is it? Climate change.
The global warming
Well,
or so.
they ended that term how long ago? It's
It's really silly, because that's what climate does. Climate changes.
just, I know. It's
Ice
been changing
age.
for billions.
In New
Right.
England, we know this.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The rest
So
of
when
the,
they
the rest
say
of the
climate
states need to
change, I'm
catch
looking at
ahead.
them like, is something a little wrong upstairs?
Yeah, is there something we're missing? Like, we get this every 5 minutes here. We get all 4 seasons in one day. What are you
Wait
talking
a minute,
about?
it'll change.
Yes.
So come on, introduce yourself again. Tell them how they can get a hold of you, what you do, how you're going to help them, how you're going to help them out,
Holding up the
bring
end
them
there.
You're
comfort.
part of the fourth
I just
core,
had to
so
do a reading. I'm like, I'm not ready.
What? You know, I knew that was going to put you on the spot.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can get a hold of
Well,
us at New
because-
England Spirit.
Because sorry.
No, it's all right. That's all right. You
Because she didn't
go.
give me any info. It was like,
It was very general.
it was like
general
this,
concept.
Right,
you
but-
know, and I'm like, okay, where do I go from there?
Well, but if I don't get a question, I just do general. I just, whatever the cards say and however it hits you.
Yeah.
Kind of where I was headed.
So
The message will come through.
yeah.
What they need to hear will come through.
Exactly.
Regardless. We're just,
Right, even
we
if
are
it's
just the
general.
vessel. We're just,
But
we're
you
the
can
hand.
see that all the cards sort of relate from
Yeah.
one
Yeah,
to
they
the
work
next.
out.
So it,
They always do.
It was meant to be.
Absolutely. And like the past times that when I've been on the show, we all pull cards, and our
Right, that's-
cards
yeah.
will always kind of add to the story.
Yep.
They're all relevant no matter what decks we use, no matter how many cards we pull for our spread. Does not matter. It's what's meant for them to hear will show up.
right. Last time the two of us were on it, remember?
Yes.
It did that same thing.
Absolutely.
So he was gonna
Introduce, yes.
let people know
All right,
who he
so,
was.
and I'm Eric. We are from the New England Spirit Society. If you want to get hold of us, I mean, we're not just ghost hunters. We're paranormal investigators, and we do everything. We
Almost everything.
almost everything. Yeah. Oh yeah, almost everything. But if we also have people that, if need be, we have a huge network of people that we can call upon if we get into a situation that's beyond our realm. But yeah, so NewEnglandSpiritSociety.org, and now my voice goes. NewEnglandSpiritSociety.org. You can get us on Facebook as well as New England Spirit Society. You can get me at boats.ness, N-E-S-S, at gmail.com. You can email me anytime. Any questions? I mean, honestly, I haven't found a crazy question yet. People come up to you and say, you might think this is crazy, but no, actually,
You've
we
never
don't.
been inside his head. So.
Blame it on it, yeah.
But yeah,
Reaching
so
out.
I mean, any question. I mean, if you have questions on what you should do, questions, is this normal? I mean, send me an email. Send me a message on Facebook. You can find me at Eric Boats Hardy on Facebook. And I'll be more than happy to answer your questions, talk to you. I mean, we got a great group of people that we can reach out to and get answers. And it's nothing about a thing.
Gary, come on over and say a word. You can even have my seat here.
For 2 seconds, for only 2 seconds.
Gary, come on over.
Take your time.
Hey, brother.
Nice to see you.
No, I just.
Welcome.
Hi, cutie.
Nice to see you again.
I just wanted to come on and just because I'm gonna miss my friend Norm, and just to share a quick story. So Norm and I started the show after Cheryl Mayer passed away. My show that's after Norm, so I got to know Norm over the years, and we started going out to eat. And I remember going out to breakfast with him. Right, we go out to breakfast. And we sit down, we have our breakfast and stuff like that. The lady comes over and goes, "Oh, Norm, don't worry about it. Your check is all paid for." I'm sitting there going, "Wait a second.
What about me? What about me?
I'm wicked famous, right?" So, anyway, the way I look at death is different than most people. When I know somebody like Norm, I know I'm going to see him again. And so when I think about Norm, I think of all those cool stuff we did and things we said to each other, and I'll miss him, but I'll see him soon. That's all I wanted to say.
All right.
Take care. Thank you.
Thanks, Gary.
Nice to see you. Well, Norm definitely has brought a lot of people together from all walks of life. I know my very first time on TV was with Norm. Your very first time.
My very first time with you and Norm and
Yes.
yourself. That's
Same here.
right.
And
Well,
Lana
in this
ended up
part, yeah,
calling, and
that's right,
we hit it
Yeah.
right off. There was something about her energy.
Really? Wow,
and
yeah.
She called on my very first time on TV. I was so nervous, and it was just something about her. I'm like, Norm, I love her. And then we became super good friends, and then we were together on his show. Like, it's
Wow,
just,
nice.
he just spreads that love and connects people together. And that's, I
Made
hope
quite
to
an
do
impact.
that. Yeah. Absolutely, because we're all on the same journey, right? We have to help each other as we progress. We pull the one behind us forward. That's all we can do.
That's right. But, I'm all about spirituality, and if you can tune into your soul,
Yeah.
which is Norm, was there constant. And you couldn't help but feel the warmth and the glow and the every kindness. Whoop.
Yeah, whoop.
Good afternoon, Norm's Community Corner.
Hi, it's Laurel. I decided to call in. And
Hi.
I managed to compose myself a bit,
Mm-hmm.
and I just wanted to share. He was one of the most amazing people I have ever met, and growing up, I had a lot of problems with like people being consistent in my life, and you know, my dad had his own substance use issues, and you know, Norm and I were connected through recovery,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, he's been one of the most stable, consistent people for the last 4 years, and I remember I was going through a tough time with like an early recovery, and I was going to get a new job, and my sister was like, oh yeah, I knew this guy Norm, and I watched him, and I called in, and you should call in, and I did, and like that started, I had no idea where I'd be, and there's so many things that we didn't get to do, but I'm so grateful. And I know he would want to be celebrated.
No question.
I don't know if it's because it's like unexpected, but I haven't felt this devastating of a loss in a long time. And I can only imagine what his family, what Scott are going through. And I'm so grateful and so blessed that I got to know him. And it still just doesn't feel real.
Yeah.
That's all.
How are you doing? Sorry, I didn't mean to walk.
Me?
Yes, ma'am. How are you doing?
Well, I would turn to Norm normally during like the times that I've been going through. I'm dealing with like discrimination. I started with a new job, and like the people that I had been supervising, it's just like a lot going on, and I'm just like really overwhelmed. And then my relationship and like uncertainty, and I'm trying to remind myself that Norm would tell me that I, like a similar caller had said, like that I'm a winner.
You are.
And it's
Absolutely.
just, yeah.
You got a pen and paper with you?
Yeah, someone.
I want you to write this phone number down.
A pen. I knew Norm was present because my dog Pam, she had accompanied me multiple times to see him, and she went all crazy when I said his name, and she got all like, it was the cutest thing. I wish I'd videotaped it. I have a phone number though, or a pen.
You ready to write this down?
Mm-hmm.
207
Mm-hmm.
451
Mm-hmm.
3069.
Okay.
You call me anytime.
What's your name?
My name is
I
Eric.
had to turn this.
My name is Eric. They call me Boats.
Thank you.
You have any issues, you call me.
Norman, so much. And I guarantee you're probably just as amazing of a person, because Norm just knew, he just knew good people. It was like one of his other gifts, I think, is being able to just identify the most good, deep inside people. And oh God, I already feel a little bit better.
Laurel, that's
He's so amazing.
Laurel, just because he's not physically here, you are not alone, okay? Because we are not Norman, but we're all here for you. All right? So it's almost like he left us in charge, I guess, of like
Pass the torch.
Yes, we will pick up where he wants us. So don't feel you're ever alone, and always reach out. That's what we're here for.
Thank you all so much. I try not to cry, but I did anyway.
There's no crying in baseball. Just remember that.
It's okay to cry.
Well, thank
It
you
is.
all for doing the show in Norm's honor and just being great people.
Well, thank you
thanks,
for
Laura.
sharing.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, Laura.
All right.
Take care and call the number, okay?
Absolutely, thanks.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
That one was...
Heart-wrenching.
We got her
Well-
back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They need to know that they're
Yeah.
not alone.
It, you know, to me, it's, you know, it's like a big vacuum physically, but, you know, I'm on a spiritual level all the time, and I'm still feel connected.
Yes.
You know,
Well, it's about
It's
that
a-
balance that we talked about in the
Yeah.
last show. It's about, you know, remembering who we were when we were in those situations and who we are right now, that we can kind of relate to their journey right now, their
Yeah.
points and their journey, and we've been there, we can help them, and it's just finding
Yeah.
that balance, because we are always connected to,
I,
so we have to remember that we're also here in the 3D realm, and you know.
right.
Oh, but that's
So-
what it's all about. It's about, you know, helping. That's what he taught us. That's be yourself and just give without expecting anything in return at all. That's it. It's so easy. It's so simple. That's it.
And the return is, as they say, priceless.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really is.
This is why. Remember when he'd say, "You love what you do, don't you?"
That's right. Wow. That's right.
I just
yeah.
love what I do. Yes. It's,
But don't you? I mean,
it's part of-
everybody,
it's
right?
Yeah, it's in our DNA. It's just, I can't even imagine. I could not turn that switch off. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not. It's not. Oh, there's a.
Oh,
We're famous.
good afternoon, Norm's Community Corner.
Hello, this is Travis Preston. How are you?
Travis!
Hello, Travis.
How
Hi,
are
guys.
you, honey?
Hi.
I am. I'm doing okay. I really wanted to call. I heard Laura's call. I just kind of popped on and saw that you guys were on here, and I just really wanted to take a moment and just pay homage to Norm and the great character of Norm.
Yes.
Keyword character.
Great.
And just to kind of switch a little from, you know, Laurel's experience, you know, the man of Norm, well, my experience with that man was always comical and very light and fun, and I'm sure you guys all have your stories, right?
Well, we want to hear yours.
Yeah.
Yes.
You want to hear mine?
Yes. Tell us how Norman touched your heart. What did he leave for you? What's the lesson?
The lesson of Norm.
You're a winner.
How does one put that in a phrase or a box? I mean, how could you even begin to put something so complex in such a simple form, in such a simple expression, right?
Yeah.
Norm was one of the most unique characters that ever would come into a room, and he would instantly want to light the people around him up.
Yes.
And he was very opinionated. You know, he had his nice, strong stances, and he always had his wonderful observations and perspectives. But he loved to light up a room, and he loved to make people feel special.
Yes.
And he loved
did.
to just truly share openly, sometimes whether they asked for it or not.
Yes, that's true. This is true. Oh, Travis. That was beautifully said.
Yeah, you know, and he was always just fascinated with the fire walking stuff. And I, you know,
Wow.
he wanted to get me back on, and we were talking and going back and forth. And I am I'm really grateful for the times that I did get to come on and like share space with him. And you know, I know I was Liz, you had reached out to me. I know Norm had reached out to me, and there were a few missed times that I was trying to come on to the show to spend time with him, and it just didn't quite line up. But
That's okay.
I really think it's really special and really beautiful that all of you guys are coming on and holding this space and this opportunity for everyone to call in and to just kind of carry on his legacy, because Norm touched a lot of people, you know, and I don't know if everybody really recognized how much he did.
Yeah. Travis, I am going to put this out there on live TV. We have a few seconds left. I will pick up where he left off with the fire walking, and I will fill in for him. How's that?
Cringing and all.
Big shoes
Now it's on
to
live
fill.
TV, so I can't say no, right?
Big shoes to fill.
It's only fire.
What's that?
It's only fire.
Yeah, it's my element. What am I worried about, right? All right, Travis, we will talk. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Blessings.
Thanks, Travis.
Right.
2 minutes.
All right,
We're
so
done. That was a very beautiful episode, honoring him and just hearing everybody calling in with their perspective on you know their side of their piece of the puzzle, because we all knew him in very different ways, and together we all have that same common denominator. He was an amazing, beautiful soul, and he's going to continue. He's going to help us even more now from where he is, right? So
right, so
he's not going anywhere.
rest in peace, Norm. I know you're there.
You need a vacation.
To you, right?
Yes.
Stay in touch
Don't
and
do that
remember,
firewalk. Oh.
everyone out there, everyone's a winner.
That's right.
Thank you.
What do we do? Do
Take
we
it.
answer this?
Take it.
Go ahead.
Yeah?
Go ahead, quick.
Yeah.
Do the greeting.
Good afternoon, Norm's Community Corner. Quick.
Hi guys.
Hi.
Hi.
So you guys are just about ready to wrap up. This is Mike and Tammy, Norm's son and daughter-in-law.
Mike.
Mike. So sorry, Mike.
Glad we took the call.
Yeah.
A little choked up, starting to talk.
It's all right, Mike. Yep.
We are here.
Just grateful for everybody being there and everybody calling in. Everybody loves him, you know, and he has a lot of friends.
He sure does. We do love him. He's touched a lot of hearts.
It's all of a sudden everybody's devastated.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
Yeah.
What we're going to do is try to figure out a way to go and I'm kind of hearing a relay in the background of the show, so I'm like getting this. Alright, I'm going to the other room. But we're going to try to figure out something like a hall or something like that, and I will post it on his Facebook.
Okay.
Time, place, and all that stuff. Probably around after New Year's because it is so close to the holidays.
Okay.
Whatever you need help with, let us know.
For the holidays. But he told me, and we talked about this many times, he never wanted a big ceremony or anything like that. So all we're really going to do is just like, you know, have like a function with maybe a buffet or something like that, and then everybody share memories.
Celebration.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Basically what you're doing on TV right now.
All right.
You know, I just figured I'd call in, and we're watching the show, and it's just like really touching to hear everybody call in because he touched so many other people in so many ways.
Absolutely.
He
All
did.
he wanted to do was help people, and he did that, you know.
Yeah.
He was great. It helped everyone, Mike.
That was his mission.
Everyone.
Yeah.
I know.
He
Mike.
was always there.
Yep.
I still have to hold myself back from trying to call him for advice, even now. We used to call every night and ask each other what we had for dinner, you know.
You can still do that, Mike.
Right. Mike, we gotta get going here. They're telling us time to scram. But thanks for
I
calling.
called a little late. I apologize for that. So I just wanted to...
Never apologize, Mike.
I'll let you
No.
go.
Okay, Mike.
I'll talk to you soon. I'll be posting the updated information for everybody.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Thanks,
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay. All right. See you.
Bye.